Hey there. So I post often about my handheld collection. This is 1/3 of it probably. I thought it'd be fun to do a very quick little video tour because pictures sometimes just don't work well, especially on these display cases. So I've been working on sort of printing out 3D stands for a lot of my stuff. This top shelf is dedicated to some very unusual gaming systems. That's right, this is a gaming system. It's technically a handheld. I'll put a link in the description so you'll be able to read about it. It's actually created by Lego, the Lego group. Anyway, so these, as you can see, you've got the 7-Eleven cup that plays Tetris. You've got the official McDonald's McNugget that plays Tetris from China. Playdate, ignore this. You've got your Tapwave, your Gizmondo, and then these are all watches that through the years have come up that play video games. This is a Playdate, and this is the Monte Carlo. It's the first, I believe this is the first ever watch that played video games. It plays roulette, and it's pretty cool. That's a Fossil watch. It has built into its strap a little tiny pen that you can use to touch the screen, and you can play like word adventures on it. Of course, the Pebble, and then I think it's a Samsung. That's I believe the first Apple Watch. Anyway, you come down here and we've got a shelf of PC gaming handhelds. My Asus ROX Ally is, X is connected to my TV right now, so it's not there. This is a Pandora, and this is a WinPD, GPD. You can see me, hello. These are all Evercade machines. I really enjoy what Evercade does. I've written about them a bunch of times. And then we have down here a bunch of phones. The original iPhone. That is the Asus gaming phone. You've got the Razer back there. Of course, we have two N-Gages, plus an N-Gage knockoff, which I still find hilarious. These, of course, they're not really phones. They're streaming devices that you can use to connect to different services to play games. But I feel like they're phone-like. Obviously, they're not phones. And then there's just sort of a potpourri down here of different things, including the GameAxe, which plays full-size NES cartridges. The Galaxian 2, which was, I believe, the first handheld I ever owned as a child. And some other ones like the Mega Duck and the Catchin. I don't know what's missing from there. I have to go figure that out. Now we're over on my second display case. This one is more traditional. So there's a bunch of, this is all Nintendo, as you can see, except for, where is it? This Russian Electronica knockoff of the Game & Watch. This one's a Mickey Mouse one. You've got the double here, and of course, all the Game Boys and all these wonderful, oh, I love the micro, and all these little tiny systems. This is for a DS game, I think, motion tracker. There's a couple companies that make very tiny, still working, functioning copies of gaming systems, Nintendo gaming systems, including the world's tiniest working Game Boy, which cracks me up. And then down here, of course, we still have even more NES. In the back, you could see the switches. And then down here, we've got the PlayStation shelf. The Portal. This is a knockoff of the Portal. I'm always amused by these knockoffs when they come out so quickly. I just think they're funny. So it in no way is like the Portal. It just has games set into it, and you can load different games on it, and it's got the shape of the Portal. All the PSPs, including, I think this is the Street. That's why it's not quite fitting in that stand. And then you have some of my favorites, PlayStation Portable Go. This is, of course, the Xperia Play, which I've been working on trying to get more games loaded onto. It's very hard to load games on this thing if it's not already set up for it. The Vita, of course, absolutely delightful device. Down here, we've got some Atari. This is a, I forgot who makes this, but it's preloaded with Atari games. The Atari Touch Me, which is kind of like Simon Says. There was an arcade version of this. And then, of course, you've got the original Lynx and the Lynx 2. Then back here, we've got Sega. We've got the Nomad. We've got the Game Gear. This is a Genesis, and it's like that Atari one I have over here. It's just preloaded with Genesis games. The Kamiga is a little bit like this. It's preloaded, but it's a camera Sega, thus the name Kamiga. So it has Sega games on it, but it also has a little camera, which is silly. Of course, the micro Game Gear that was released to celebrate the anniversary. I really need to get the other two. I only bought one at the time. We've got some little goofy Tamagotchi. This is a Bandai. It's kind of like a Game & Watch, but it's solar powered, which I think is very cool. And then down here, we've got some other old systems. Of course, the Turbo Express, the Game.com, the Merlin. This is a little Bandai, I believe that's a Bandai game. This is a little handheld that was made by a company that did graphic novels. I actually was trying to get this to work and somehow fried my computer. I hope it was an accident. Like, I think maybe it was just coincidental, but I haven't tried it again for obvious reasons. We've got the, I forgot what this is. This is the SNK Neo Geo X, which is basically like a portable version of preloaded Neo Geo games. It's really cool. Barcode Wars. You've got the Wonder Swans. You've got the GCW Zero. The SNK Neo Geo Pocket. This thing is very hard to find. This whole top part right here comes off, and that's the actual game, but they erode very badly. I found a guy who discovered boxes of these in a warehouse and was selling the systems plus a bunch of the games. Finally, and forgive the mess, my cats and dogs like to play on this. This is my display case. It's a coffee table display case. At one point, the dogs ate the corners. I tried to find a replacement. I don't think they make this anymore, so I ended up trying to fix it. Anyway, this has got a whole bunch of really cool systems. This is what I would consider to be the first handheld ever created. It's the Novus Quiz Kid. It's basically a reverse math game. Then you've got a casino game. These are in chronological order. Then Mattel's first game, the Auto Race. And then you've got, of course, the Little Professor and the Data Man and a bunch of other really cool things in here. This is the first, I believe, digital computer chess game. So it doesn't have physical pieces. The whole thing is digital. Terrible chess software in it, by the way. I wrote a whole story about that. Dungeons and Dragons. This is a system that, as a kid, everybody wanted, at least when I was growing up. This cool little system here, the shuttle bomber, has a radio built into it. Little AM/FM radio. And a bunch of other fun systems. This Sharp, you can put in little cartridges that have a couple of games on it. Of course, there's the Star Wars with a 3-pack of games. The Geo Catraducci is an Italian system. This cartridge is missing. I actually don't know why that is. I should have the cartridge in there. But the Geo Catraducci had this little cartridge right here that has its own display to play games. And it came with, I think, 2. One was like Tetris. And the other was, funny enough, Pac-Man Land, which is hilarious to me. And then this is another version of that. And then, of course, you can't forget the Cybeco. This is, of course, the old iPod, which did have games on it, in case you forgot or didn't know. This is, I was wrong over there when I was talking about the company that made manga that did a system. That's this one, not the one over there. Sorry, I confused them. And Game King was a pretty popular knockoff. There were 3 versions of this. And then you can kind of see down here, we've got a couple more systems, and that is, for the most part, my entire collection. I have a few that are stored away, but that's basically it. I think there's about 150. I hope you enjoyed the tour.